You welcome the Nigeria Labour Congress and its partner or sister labor organization, the Trade Union Congress, yesterday at the Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage meeting or proceeding, rejected Nigeria's federal government's new offer of 57,000 naira as minimum wage. Now, the government upped its offer from the previous 54,000 naira minimum wage, which was upped from the previous 48,000 naira minimum wage. So they added 6,000 and Labour said, we don't want. And then the federal government added 3,000 naira, or like people say on the streets here, 3,000, and Labour still said, we don't want that. And of course, that meeting ended in stalemate. The federal government at Tuesday's meeting of the Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage, like I said, upped its offer. But they upped it to match that was being offered by organized private sector, who had already, in the previous meeting before yesterday's, made a proposal of 57,000 naira a monthly minimum wage. Now, organized private sector promptly rejected it, but they shifted ground by reducing their demand to 497,000 naira from the initial 615,000 naira, which it put forward at the previous meeting. And that, of course, meant the meeting ended in stalemate, because if you take 57,000 naira and 497,000 naira, what you have in between is a wide, deep blue sea, So the committee will resume for the negotiations on May 28, 2024. But guess what? May 28 is ahead of Labour's May 31 deadline, which they've given to the government to come up with a new national minimum wage. But very importantly, May 28 is a day ahead of President Tinubu's first anniversary. You're thinking what I'm thinking. Will an agreement be reached by then? Joining us tonight to look at this, we have two comrades, I like to call them. Olabisi Adebayo Idowu is Vice Chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Lagos State, and of course, Comrade Fumi Sheshi is Chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress Lagos chapter. Comrade Idowu, good evening to you. Good to have you on the program tonight.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me tonight.
All right. What are your thoughts on the new figure put forward by the federal government? They started with 48,000 naira, went to 54,000 naira. Now they've added more money to 57,000 naira. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, with the situation on ground in Nigeria today, when we are talking about take-home wage, you can see that the federal government of this nation, they are trying to insult us by saying they achieved grant from 54 to 57. You decided from 48,000. Imagine, either 48, 54, 57 cannot purchase a bag of rice in Nigeria of today. And what we are trying to say, a very simple statistical analysis, or you look at it as a mathematical analysis or a technical analysis, which gave birth to a scientific analysis. For a family of 4, understand, if you calculate it very well, 3,000 per meal, 3 times in a day, multiply a month, you see the result. And then we too, we are trying to shift a grant, moving from 715,000 to 4+. But despite all this, the federal government of this nation did not deem it fit to look at it, to take care of the end that laid the golden egg. But I keep on saying this. If the federal government should continue like this, the House of Rep and the House of Senate, including the House Assembly, they go home monthly in the millions of nairas, but to pay those people that create the wealth of the nation is a problem to them all. And I begin to wonder, I will continue to cry for this nation until they do the needful. Although I look at the federal government of this nation as the best gestures of the year. If they can continue like this, it means they don't have the heart of Nigerians at heart. And they continue saying, let the masses breathe. What we are saying this time around, let Nigeria breathe. That one is not, in fact, it's an insult. I will not say more than that. It's an insult. Coupled with the economic situation in Nigeria today, we are not talking about 50-something thousand. We are talking about 715. Sir, it's not acceptable.
All right. Comrade, I'm sure I'd like to believe you're aware that the federal government at Tuesday's meeting complained about paucity of funds. That is to say, there's no money. There's no money. That's what the government is saying. They're low on funds. Now, shouldn't Labour take this into consideration? Paucity of funds with the federal government.
Can you come up again?
I'm saying that the federal government complained at the last sitting of the tripartite committee on national minimum wage. They complained of paucity of funds, saying they are low on funds to be able to afford what Labour is maybe asking for. Shouldn't Labour take this into consideration?
If you listen to me now, Benicio, I said something that was fundamental. When it comes to workers, there won't be no money. But when it comes to them, to siphon the money, to use millions of naira, billions of naira, to siphon for necessary things, incompleted projects, to siphon money, there will be available funds. Imagine, just of recent, if the federal government can deem it fit to pay or to use or to siphon 90 billion for some people that are just traveling out of the country. There's fund for that. But to pay those who make to create that wealth, there won't be any fund. That one is not tenable. We have enough money there. But the one they believe they can use is the one they can use for themselves. They have to listen to us. We are ready this time around. They should not join with this situation. No. The federal government of this nation must not talk with this situation. We have enough money in Nigeria. We have several many resources that make money for us. So that one is not tenable.
All right, Comrade. How did Labour arrive at 615,000 naira, which has now been taken down? They took off 118,000 naira from that 615 to make it 497,000 naira. Was it that 615 was just playing to the gallery, or they just sat down and just, let's ask for 615,000 naira?
Not at all. Not at all. We are not trying to play to gallery. You know, if you know us very well, we call ourselves organized labor. And whenever we are coming to negotiation, we always take all the variables and factors into consideration to make sure whatever we are doing have a human face. You know, we discuss, and when we look at it, it's not maybe we are trying to prove adamant. We have to shift ground a little bit, and that's what we did. So people don't look at that.
Well, Comrade, how did Labour arrive at the 615,000 naira? What the calculation?
I'll give you a simple analogy. In the beginning, that a family of 6 take into consideration 3,000 naira per meal, 3 times in a day, multiply in a month. You will see what we are talking about. That's what I did.
How much does? I mean, I want you to give them naira and go with the mathematics.
That is it. I'll give you a simple analogy that you too you can calculate it. If some people are looking at it that we are trying to play together.
No, Comrade. No, you have the calculation. You give it to me.
I've done it now. You two, we are together. So that if I continue to play the game alone, you know they will believe, so don't mind them. They have the knowledge of knowledge or ideas. I've thrown it open for everybody to calculate so that they can challenge.
Okay, Comrade, I will come back from a break because I want you to go over what you threw open to us again, so I can just take note and do my mathematics here with my calculator. For those of you watching at home, we want to know how Labour arrived at that 615,000. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We still have Comrade Olabisi, who is about to tell us how Labour arrived at their 615,000 naira minimum wage demand. Comrade, are you still there? Let's quickly go to that calculation you said you threw open, because I want to take note of it. Over to you, sir.
I said something that for a family of 4, at a 3,000 naira per meal, 3 times in a day, if you multiply it, it will give you more than 615,000 naira. So
how much for a meal? How much for a meal? How much are you putting as a meal for a family of 4?
3,000 naira.
Okay, so 3 times 4.
The economic situation in Nigeria today.
Okay, that's 12,000 naira. Come in, I want to calculate. All right, so 3,000 naira per day.
It's more than that.
Okay. Okay, so if you add the 3,000 naira per day, comrade, how much will it give you per month? Let me see, 3,000 naira times 4. Family of 4 is 12,000 naira times 30 days in a month. That is 360,000 naira, not 615,000 naira, comrade.
A family of 4.
That is 360,000 naira.
3 per meal, 3 times in a day. 3,000 per a meal, 3 times in a day.
For a family of 4. So
yes, now.
Okay.
Take it very well.
All
it's
right.
more than 300,000.
I see. Comrade, we'll have to leave it at that. We will look forward to having you again some other time, probably have a better experience with you. But I like your doggedness in trying to give us a breakdown, and let's see how things go. Thank you very much. Comrade Olabisi Adebayo, who is the Vice Chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Lagos State Chapter. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.